And YouTube. This is Silver Cloud doing Dream Journal number 3. So, this was a bird's eye view perspective where I was outside of this little greenhouse. That's me. And I was pacing back and forth along this hedgerow, along these hedges, outside of the greenhouse. And it was at nighttime. For whatever reason, it was at night. It was at nighttime. So I drew a little moon there. I drew a little moon to show you that this was taking place at night for whatever reason. And I was outside this cool greenhouse and pacing back and forth along this hedgerow. What was unique was I had a flower sprouting out of my head made of crystal. Crystal flower. I had this crystal flower sprouting out of my head. And that's why I knew it was a bird's eye view, or I was seeing myself from above. I was seeing me from above. Like my mind was levitating above me. And we go into the greenhouse where I am walking amongst the plants and I'm kind of hiding or like playing hide and seek or like using camouflage. I was like using the plant to like blend in. I was kind of like blending in with all the plants around me. And it was kind of like a fun little game. It was a cute little game. It was a game of sorts. Some type of game I was playing with myself, I guess. And having a lot of fun doing that. Because I was like, whoa, I have this flower sprouting out of my head. Like, how cool. I'm gonna blend in with the plants and have a fun time, right? But it got me thinking. It got me kind of curious and thinking back about neurology journal or page I found on the internet, some page on a website. And it's called the Rosehip neuron, which is unique to human beings. So this neuron is called the rosehip neuron because it looks like there's little rose hips, like little fruits, like rose fruits, at the ends of the terminal axons. And it's a inhibitory, meaning it mutes, it seems to mute activity in the brain. And it makes up 10 to 15% of all the inhibitory neurons in the cell layer 1 of the human cerebral cortex. So it's a range in a compact arbitrarization, which basically is a branching structure, some type of branching pattern. And it's all one cohesive mass. So all the neurons are connected, and it's its own entity, basically, in the human brain. And I think this dream was a projection of my own rosehip neuron. I think perhaps this was a projection of my rosehip neuron, which is kind of freaky, but also cute. I hope. It's cool to talk about it. Anyway, it's a reference, and it's unique to human beings. And what's really cool about that is that these rosehip-like axonal butons or buttons they're like knobs. They're like these little knobby endings. The nerve endings in them are knob-like, and they look like rose fruits, and they're full of neurotransmitters. like adrenaline, histamine, dopamine, serotonin, etc. And they also have cellular machinery that can fuse vesicles, which means usually if a neuron can fuse vesicles together, then it's used for learning things. It's used for learning data, because that means that the vesicles value has increased through data input. Data input will increase a neuron's vesicle value by adding neurotransmitters. So this neuron is used for learning. It's a learning neuron, and it's unique to Homo sapiens. So personally, I'm using this dream journal to posit my own theory about its origin, where it came from, where this neuron came from, because a lot of neurologists don't know or are uncertain and are theorizing out there themselves about why this neuron exists or how it evolved, what caused it to evolve. And I'm an agriculturalist myself, and I'm believing that it came with agriculture. It's a mirror neuron of a type. And that, by that I mean people have seen plants and they've watched other people. They've seen other people grow plants. We've learned how to grow plants from each other. People teach each other how to grow plants, and that's how agriculture evolves. We teach each other how to grow them, and that's why I'm saying it's a mirror neuron of some type. I'm positing that it's a mirror neuron, and it evolved with agriculture. It came out of agriculture. And it also comes from a single cell type, much like a plant seed would. So it has these molecular structures that look like fruits and flowers, that look like roses, fruits, and flowers. And it comes from one cell type, just like a plant's seed comes from one cell type. So, and it branches, and I believe that Homo sapiens evolved it using mirror neurons and agriculture. So I'm an agriculturalist and a plant scientist, and I've done work with DNA. I've done lots of cool research. It gave me mania because I was too young to be doing that. It gave me mania because I was too young to be doing that, maybe. And also I'm genetically predisposed. I'm also genetically predisposed to that. But anyway, what's cool about this is that I think it came out of a symbiosis. The symbiotic theories, a lot of symbiotic theories are very useful. And I think it's a mirror neuron with agriculture. I firmly believe that this is agriculture and horticulture related because it's used for learning. It's a learning neuron. It's obviously a learning neuron from its structure and the way it works. It's a learning neuron because the vesicles can fuse. The vesicles can fuse, and that's how you know that it's obviously used for learning. And it comes from one cell type, just like a plant seed would, and it has these axonal butons that look like rose fruits and flowers. It looks like rose fruits and flowers. So it's basically like a seed, and it grows like a plant. It grows from one cell type. It's already been proven. It has been proven that immunohistochemically and transcriptonomically, meaning using protein, DNA protein, using DNA protein sequencing, sequenced, that it all comes from one cell, just like a seed would. So that's my neurological theory about this neuron. I hope this gets communicated to neurologists out there who are interested in it, because I think it's obvious. I think it's totally obvious that this is agricultural related, and it's because it's a learning neuron, and it looks and acts just like a plant seed would. It looks and acts just the same way as a plant seed would. And I think that's already kind of obvious. So, anyway, there's lots of theorization still. Like, they're still theorizing, and I'm aggravated. I'm so aggravated that these dorky neurologists, these goofballs, are like, why does this thing exist? And to me, it's as obvious as the fact that the sun comes up every day. You know, like, Jesus Christ. Okay. So that's just me being kind of over-exuberant for a moment. But it's very important that we appreciate the symbiosis with plants here. And it's totally obvious to me that this was used for learning agriculture. So that's my big point on it. I believe firmly that the Rosehip neuron evolved when we were learning agriculture. The Rosehip neuron probably evolved when we were learning agriculture, and that's my big dream journal on it. I believe that totally, though. There's no other explanation. There's really no other explanation for also why it only exists in human beings. It's unique to Homo sapiens, just like agriculture is. Like, what else is unique to Homo sapiens? I mean, the computer, for sure. But agriculture is what is unique about Homo sapiens. It's that we learned how to grow plants in the first place, and then we taught each other how to grow them. So that's totally why I believe it's a mirror neuron. And number one, it's a mirror neuron. And number two, that agriculture is why this neuron evolved. So, that's Dream Journal number 3. Aside a segue, we have a little segue though, it's not done yet. We do have a little segue into this recurring dream that I have. And I call this a dream space. This is kind of like a dream space that's recurring. And I just call it the computer room. So this is kind of dorkier and less high tech language. This is way less high tech than what I'm capable of talking about. But here's the computer room. And this is my drawing of it. So in the same day, that we segued into this computer room, probably to calm me down a little bit. And it's a recurring dream that I have, or a dream space. I call this a dream space for me, because it's kind of a safe place. It's just a safe and fun place. And I think I go to it whenever I have a very, very vivid dream. Whenever I have a new one. Whenever I have a new and vivid dream. This is kind of like a safe spot, or like a save block. I hit a save block, and I'm like, okay, I saved my game. Like, I saved my game. And that's just kind of how I ended that dream sequence. That was how I ended that dream sequence. It was really cool. It was fun. I got a crystal flower growing out of my head. Crystal little flower. You know, I was hiding in the plants. And we had a cool rosehip neuron neurology discussion. So, to recap that, recap that. One, I think it's a mirror neuron. And two, we learned it and evolved it through agriculture. So that's me being honest about that. And I hope you all have a fabulous day, week, month, and year. And that you all use plants to meditate and to dream and to love yourselves and to love other people, because plants are very beautiful things. They're always safe and quiet, especially as long as you're knowledgeable about them and you're careful, you know. There's something to be careful with, and they're very special and sacred. Plants are very sacred and special things. And they're very romantic as well. They're also extremely romantic. And all of them are unique and beautiful, and they all help the earth. You know, take care of the planet, grow some plants, and have a beautiful and blessed life with them, you know. We're all on planet Earth, and one of the most special things we can do is take care of it with the time we have here as much as we can. So, there's a little message also to enjoy some gardening and horticulture. Maybe do some agriculture if you're capable, if you have enough land. You know, grow some trees, grow some shrubs, grow some food, grow some herbs, grow some habitat. Just grow some basic habitat, you know, just basic things outside in your front yard. Lizard habitat, butterfly habitat, you know, just feed the earth back, and respect the planet, and you'll have good karma. And also have a beautiful life. You'll also have a beautiful, safe, happy life doing that. Okay? So, have a beautiful, happy, and safe life, growing plants and taking care of the earth. Okay? That's Silver Cloud's third dream journal. Have a good day, week, month, and year. Bye-bye.